Yeah, hi, I'm Louisa. I'm 33. I'm from Dortmund. I'm a mom of 3 kids, soon to be 4. I'm a nurse by profession, and I've been married for 10 years. And the thing with being overweight started pretty early on. Well, I'd say, yeah, actually about 15 years ago. And yeah, for most of my life, it actually didn't really bother me that much because I kept starting diets over and over again. Sometimes it worked, then it didn't work again, and then of course it became more of a burden. Then I tried something else. Then, as I said, the kids came along and work and just how life goes. And by now, yeah, at some point after I had my third child, I decided that something had to change because eventually being overweight will make you sick, and I want to stay fit for my kids for a long time. So after that, I started looking for ways to get support, and that's how I became aware of it. Yeah. First, I informed myself about all the options that are out there, and pretty quickly realized that one way or another, I would have to choose a method that I would have to pay for myself. So I started looking for clinics and what they offer. And I really liked that, so I scheduled a consultation appointment there and got advice from them. That's how my journey went. The consultation was over the phone. It was very, very short notice, very, very attentive. And it suited me really well because it fit perfectly into my really hectic daily routine. And I also felt that I was well advised there. Well, I mean, I am in the field myself since I have my own medical background. And so, yes, I felt that I was really well advised there. And of course, I also received follow-up offers where I could get even more in-depth information. And yes, that's how the consultation went. It was clear to me, or it became very clear to me very quickly that I wanted to have this done. Then, of course, it was about, then I looked into the financing options, checked what options I had. But then I came to the conclusion that we could cover it ourselves. And then, yes, I agreed very quickly and said that I would like to have an appointment. Of course, they loved me just the way I am. Ultimately, yes. Of course, there are those who fully support you, especially those who have been with you on this journey for a long time, who have often experienced the ups and downs of weight loss, the battles you fight, and the problems you have and everything else that comes with it. Most of them have been very, very supportive. And of course, they've also said, you know, that they're a bit worried and hope everything will turn out well. And as I said, you're not only responsible for yourself, but also for your family. But in the end, there was a lot of support. Of course, there are always those who say, what, you can't do it on your own with your own strength. And that it's kind of like that this is the easy way out, where I think to myself, what kind of easy way is that? That just supports me, helps me move forward, and is actually effective. I could keep going for another 10 years. But if I end up standing there sick, then it hasn't helped anyone. Ultimately, it's my life, and that's how I see it. I want to live a long, healthy, and happy life, and for that, I just have to work on myself. And all the people who tried to talk me out of it or said stupid things, it just goes in one ear and out the other, and I don't care. For me, the main point was that I thought, well, anyone who gets to the point of considering paying for surgery to have their stomach made smaller has already been through a certain amount of suffering. They've endured a certain level of distress. And for me, it was like this. Of course, even after all that suffering, you still have this large stomach, which simply has a greater capacity than other people's stomachs. For me, it was like, okay, this is really another tool that I can actually use, something I can really anchor my dietary changes to, something I can tie my exercise routine towards, just like a catalyst that supports everything again. Because the methods and ways to do it, I think everyone who's tried everything 100 times already knows them. And you know exactly that you eat too much or eat the wrong things or don't move enough or whatever it may be. But with this surgery, it's possible to actually put all these things into practice and have a support measure so that it's really, truly effective. And so that it actually lasts in the long run. That's another important point. You just know you'll never have a bigger stomach again. You only have a certain capacity to fill, and that's it. So you can't really, it's like a protective mechanism you buy for yourself, you know? And I also had the consultation with the doctor over the phone. He called me at the agreed time. It was just like, I would say all medical consultations are, he was very friendly, very attentive, and answered my questions. Even when I probed a bit more, he was able to answer everything well, which gave me an even greater sense of security. Yeah, so that was definitely good. So I really liked that the procedure happened very, very quickly after the consultation because an appointment became available, and so I think it was just a matter of a few weeks. I think there were only 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks at most in between. And that was really great for me, of course, because once you've made the decision, you start looking forward to it and want it to happen as soon as possible. So yeah, that was really good as well. The night before the operation, I actually slept very well, even though I wouldn't have expected that beforehand. And then in the morning, my girlfriend picked me up and we went to Düsseldorf together. I had my surgery done at a clinic in Düsseldorf, and then we went into the clinic, picked up the prescription for the pills I would need after the operation, and we were both really excited. That's when the excitement really started to kick in. Then we went to the pharmacy, picked up all the pills, and then said our goodbyes. After that, I went into the clinic, was received there, and got prepped. The anesthesiologist came in, introduced himself to me, which I found very pleasant. The doctor came in, introduced himself to me again, and then basically I was already well. Then I got my IV, which went very, very smoothly, which was nice because usually I always have problems with that. Then I went super quickly into the operating room, lay down there, and honestly, I don't really remember exactly how I went into the induction. I just remember chatting with the anesthesiologist, and suddenly I woke up and the surgery was over.
The OverStitch procedure is a non-invasive endoscopic technique for reducing stomach volume. The animation provides an overview of the latest technology. The goal is to achieve a reduction in stomach volume without removing any part of the stomach. First, endoscopically, an argon laser is used to mark the landmarks for the subsequent suturing. These landmarks are pre-marked in 2 parallel lines along the greater curvature, a part of the stomach. Next, also endoscopically, a triangular suture is placed at the previously marked sites. The triangular suture is repeated a total of 5 to 6 times, starting from the stomach outlet and moving toward the stomach entrance. By tightening the sutures, a significant reduction in stomach volume is achieved, as can be seen here in the animation. This ensures that the actual shape of the greater curvature in the stomach is preserved, but there is nevertheless a significant reduction in stomach volume. With the technology described, the stomach volume is reduced by up to 70%, and the results last a lifetime.
The first 24 hours after the operation weren't so great, I have to say. So I had read and also heard that actually after this operation, there aren't really any severe side effects or consequences, that you definitely don't feel that bad. Personally, I didn't feel so well. I also kind of stayed up through the night. But in the morning, when the doctor wanted to discharge me, I told him about it again, and then I got another IV. And after that, I slept for another 2 hours at the clinic. And then I actually felt fine. So I'll put it this way. The first night wasn't so great for me personally. But everything that came after that was fine, including the days that followed. It took me a little while to get back on my feet, but in general, you do become able to function again pretty quickly. So I don't regret it for a second, not at all. I would definitely do it again. I always say, of course, with that kind of money, you could easily buy a car or go on a really big vacation, like 3 weeks overseas or something like that. But if you weigh it up, the money against a human life, my own life, and all the benefits I've gained from it, I would absolutely do it again. And I've actually already recommended it, and my coworker had it done at the beginning of the year as well. And she's already lost quite a bit of weight and is very happy with it. I would do it again anytime. I also wouldn't have done it any earlier. I think it was the right time because justifying it to myself and to those around me and everything else, yeah. So, it really was the right time, and I'm glad I did it. And, I definitely shouldn't have done it any later. I'm just happy that I made the decision now and followed through with it.